Well, I don't want to say it's been easy. It hasn't been easy, but I also don't think it's been maybe as difficult as some people would like to believe. So maybe I'm, you know, at the risk of maybe not, clapping anybody on the back. But I think that I've felt very confident, as you said, since we drafted him, that he would want to start his career here. And there was never a moment where that really wavered. In fact, as you all know, there was a time 2 summers ago where, because of the circumstances involving his previous team, not Barcelona, but the Badalona team, where it might have started even earlier. But I think that once he had a credible offer from Barcelona and he made the decision that at age 18 it would be better to spend another couple of years, developing over there, that we thought that this would be the year, this coming year, in other words. So it does require a lot of patience and work, because, and that not because of just Ricky, but any time you draft a player from Europe, it comes with its own set of challenges, especially with buyouts and contracts, and it's just different. It's not like drafting a player, domestically who's ready to come over right away. But I'm happy that it's done, and I'm very pleased for everybody, with our ball club who helped participate in this decision or in this task. And I want to start with Glenn. It isn't easy to take a player, in the first round, especially a top 10 pick, and somebody so young and that may not be able to come, as I said, that night, that may not be able to come right away. But Glenn has been incredibly supportive of the process and has had, in his own way, he's participated in it on a couple of key moments. And so everybody here at the Timberwolves organization should feel very pleased about their role in all this.
Is he ready skill-wise for the NBA game?
Yeah, he is. There's no question about it. I don't know yet what his defined role will be next year, but there's no question in my mind that he will play next year, and he'll play significant minutes.
How?
No, that's not for me to say, first of all, and I think that he doesn't want anybody to say that, by the way. The last time I had a very long conversation with him was in the middle of May, and he is a little bit concerned, and I understand this, that the expectations are such that people, won't allow him the kind of transition and adjustment period that, frankly, he deserves, because he's Ricky Rubio and he's coming from Spain. So I think it's very important, and you'll probably hear me say this constantly, starting today and then throughout the summer and even maybe into next fall. It's very important to me, and I think for him, though, that especially that we not start getting ahead of ourselves, and that he's allowed to break into the league just like any other rookie would.
David, a lot of people said this would never happen. Are you chuckling at those individuals a little bit?
No. No.
How do you gauge the progress that he's made over the last few years, just with his game?
Well, I think, first of all, his body has definitely improved, and I think it will continue to improve. He's grown at least an inch. The last time, just in mid-May, it looked to me that he had grown an inch, and so I think that we haven't measured him yet, but I'll be eager to see what the measurements are. And he's just, you can see his upper body, and also all parts of his body are just, there's now a little bit more definition to him, a little bit more thickness to them, and I think that that will prepare him well for the rigors of our league. From a basketball standpoint, I think there's a lot of misconception. A lot of attention is paid to his numbers without really sometimes an understanding of how different their game is and their style of play, especially with the Barcelona team, which plays a very half-court oriented game that frankly probably isn't suitable for his style. But I think especially 2 years ago, he had to go through a transition with a new team, older established players, completely different environment, and he handled it magnificently and was the starting point guard on what turned out to be the European Championship team. This year, I think that even he's acknowledged. There were a couple moments this season, I think he lost a little bit of confidence in his shot, and I think that he became frustrated sometimes, and I think that he emerged from it pretty well. He ended up playing at the end of the regular season very well, and then he hurt his ankle. And he didn't start the first game of the playoffs, and I think that the coach and the team just decided to stick with it, and they went 9-0 in the playoffs. So they were kind of on a run. I think that it's probably going to be, it's probably helpful that Ricky had to deal with adversity this year. because I think every player at every level, especially at this level, it probably will happen at some time or another. So I think that to the extent that it helped prepare him for what he will encounter over here, that even the last year, when even he said that there were some tough moments, will be good for him in his future maturation.
Was this thing up in the air until you went to Spain a couple weeks ago?
No.